I'm your host, Sirkin, and welcome to Today in History, the show where we dive into the most fascinating stories from the past. Today, August 13th, 2026, is just an ordinary day for most of us, but trust me, it's a day that's steeped in history. As we go about our daily lives, it's easy to forget that the world has been shaped by events that took place on days just like this one. So, let's take a journey through time and explore one of the most intriguing events that happened on this exact day. Imagine yourself standing in the midst of a bustling city, surrounded by the sounds of horses' hooves, carriage wheels, and the murmur of conversation. It's August 13th, 1961, and you're in Berlin, Germany. The city is still reeling from the aftermath of World War II, and the division between East and West is palpable. The Cold War is in full swing, and tensions are running high. On this day, the government of the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, began constructing a physical barrier to separate East and West Berlin. The Berlin Wall, as it would come to be known, was a desperate attempt to stem the flow of refugees fleeing from the communist regime in the East to the freedom of the West. As the sun rose over the city, residents of Berlin woke up to find that their lives were about to change forever. Soldiers and police officers, armed with guns and wire, began erecting a barrier that would eventually stretch over 155 kilometers. The wall was a hastily constructed affair, made of concrete blocks, barbed wire, and guard towers. It was a brutal reminder of the division that had been growing between the two sides of the city. For the people of Berlin, the wall was a physical manifestation of the fear, suspicion, and mistrust that had been building for years. As the news of the wall's construction spread, panic began to set in. Thousands of people rushed to the border, attempting to cross into West Berlin before it was too late. The scenes were chaotic, with families separated, and friends torn apart. The West Berlin authorities were caught off guard, and they struggled to cope with the influx of refugees. The city's mayor, Willy Brandt, would later describe the scene as a day of unspeakable shame for the people of Berlin. The construction of the Berlin Wall was a pivotal moment in modern history. It marked the beginning of a new era of division and tension between the East and West. The wall became a powerful symbol of the Cold War, a physical reminder of the ideological differences that had been driving the two superpowers apart. For the people of Berlin, the wall was a constant presence, a reminder of the restrictions and limitations that they faced every day. As the years passed, the Berlin Wall became increasingly sophisticated. Watchtowers and raked gravel, known as death strips, were added to prevent escape attempts. Guards were given shoot-to-kill orders, and the wall was patrolled by vicious dogs and heavily armed soldiers. The wall was a formidable barrier, but it was not impenetrable. Over the years, thousands of people attempted to cross, some successfully, while others were caught and imprisoned, or worse, killed. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Berlin Wall's history is the stories of those who attempted to cross. There were the daredevils, who used hot air balloons, tunnels, and even zip lines to escape. There were the families, who were separated by the wall, and who would go to great lengths to be reunited. And then there were the ordinary people, who simply wanted to experience the freedom and opportunity that the West had to offer. The Berlin Wall stood for 28 years, a constant reminder of the division and tension that existed between the East and West. But on November 9, 1989, the wall finally came tumbling down. The German government announced that it would allow East Germans to travel to the West, and thousands of people gathered at the wall, demanding that the gates be opened. As the border guards began to open the gates, the crowd surged forward, and the Berlin Wall was finally breached. As we look back on the history of the Berlin Wall, it's clear that it was a pivotal moment in modern history. The wall was a physical manifestation of the division and tension that existed between the East and West, but it was also a symbol of the human spirit's desire for freedom and connection. The story of the Berlin Wall is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better future. As we reflect on the events of August 13, 1961, we're reminded that history is not just a series of dry dates and events. It's a complex tapestry of human experiences, filled with drama, tension, and emotion. The story of the Berlin Wall is a powerful reminder of the importance of freedom, democracy, and human connection. It's a story that continues to resonate with us today, a reminder of the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most daunting obstacles. So, as we go about our daily lives, let's take a moment to reflect on the events of August 13, 1961. Let's remember the people of Berlin, who lived and died in the shadow of the wall. Let's honor their memories by continuing to promote freedom, understanding, and connection in our own lives. And let's never forget the power of the human spirit to shape the course of history. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time, and we'll see you next time on Today in History.